Well, we're going to find out if anyone can challenge Liquid, who do currently hold the crown. Rich, I don't know who's up for the challenge. I don't know how ready they are for today, but we're going to find out right about now. Kicking off on Miramar, we're going to find out who dares to step to the throne.
Yeah, yesterday they kind of set the pace of how we're expecting things to go for the rest of this week. The performance was just something that rivaled what we saw back at PGI 2018 from OMG. Like, we'd never seen such an aggressive team. And I think it surprised a lot of teams, to be honest with you, even to the fact of where we saw Liquid in the final game rotating all the way to Sosnovka. The Jokers decided to take a few pop shots at them. I spoke to them about this last night. They'd said Samti's tire went. They literally had to turn and face. There was nothing else they could do. But I think it speaks larger volumes about the commitment that this team has. The call was made from the IGL, okay, the tires have gone. Let's jump and turn face. And that's exactly what they did. And they ended up absolutely smashing the Jokers to pieces. So for that level of commitment to be able to just make the call there and then all four players respond and jump into action, it really sets the tone and says a lot about this roster. I think it's opened a lot of people's eyes. And most importantly, probably told people how they should be playing this game also, what to expect from Liquid. I think you have to play up to that standard. You have to play aggressive now. There's no sitting back and just holding back and hoping the circle comes towards you. Yes, you can bet your edges on where... speaking of betting your edges where this might go, you can try and take a guesstimate of where things may go. But certainly when Liquid's coming at you with full force, you need to be able to respond to that.
No, absolutely. I think we do need to look beyond Liquid for now. I'm sure we'll be saying plenty of their name late game. We need to look at who's sitting around that top 5 to, I guess, top 10 marker here. Who can make a big impression today? We did see the Desperados have a little bit of a glimmer of hope outside of Liquid's dominance. They did pick up a victory there. We did see a couple of the teams starting to look a little bit better overall, but we're looking at Se7en as a bit of a surpriser. They had consistent results within that top 3. I doubted them, and I'll put my hands up and say I was very wrong to doubt them. They were absolutely incredible at pushing through with large numbers towards the end. We often saw 3 to 4 players still standing late game for them. And where are they right now? Let's see where they're looting. Okay, they're on the western side of Los Leones with a circle like this. Very nice for them. They get to have that early hop in towards it, only having Digital Athletics in front of them. That's a good shout. Avangar, this is a bit more rough for them to start in towards. They're currently sitting in 3rd, so they're up in the northeast. That's going to be a little bit tricky. But then beyond that, you know, Desperados, Na'Vi, FaZe, and then Digital Athletics, this isn't a terrible circle for some of these guys.
You touched on Avangar. I think they're used to this kind of rotate path and what they need to do with how to approach these circles. You have to remember, usually on this map, it's anywhere between El Azhar all the way up to Campo Militar. So they're used to playing the long game. And even if we look towards Erangel, they're up in North George. Yes, it's not Zaki. Yes, it's not Severny. It's, you know, all the way up in the north, but certainly can be further away from circles. There is a fair amount of distance you will have to travel. For example, what we saw yesterday when we go down to Military Island. I'm glad you touched on Se7en, though, with 2 second-place back-to-backs, and they're the second most with the amount of kills, 20 in the bag so far across 4 games is fairly decent. Teams that I think have yet to step up to the plate, Zoekt Een Naam, Ence, 3D Max, especially 3D Max, after what a sterling performance we saw during the group stage. It kind of throws me back a little bit to what we saw from NIP in London, where they completely smurfed their lobby, and then when we got to the finals, dropped the ball a little bit.
I am seeing some early rotations here. The scouts are out and about. We have Fuzzface on the move. Noki's already headed down south from 3D Max. So the teams that already were on that kind of western side have tried to put maybe their pawns in the right places to begin with. And I don't want to call Fuzzface or Noki a pawn, but for now they'll play that role. They're going to just try and hold ground and try and move up on the board. Digital Athletics, though, do have such a very good step here. Incredibly good loot location for this sort of circle, so they get to really pick where they want. And they've played it, they seem to play it well on the timing too for them. And I think the big one for me when we were talking about Se7en earlier is Edelweiss. This guy went a little under the radar for me when we were looking at the other group stage. Still a very, very good player. But here, he's really started to step up. Big damage coming through, big amount of kills. It does feel as though you're in the shadow of the giants with Liquid on the page, but you almost have to kind of put them outside of this. They are, you know, just not human right now. They're a little bit higher, but Edelweiss has shown some real potential, and I hope we see that today.
I think that's the whole story about Contenders, right? Coming up to play in these big leagues. This is a kickoff cup. Yes, there is no one getting promoted to phase number 2, but certainly for phase number 3, all these teams are unlocking and saying, well, we can do this, we can play with the best of them, and we can rock it with the big boys. And Would you say Se7en Edelweiss himself as being setting the standard? I was hoping for a bit more from 3D Max. Again, it was only day number 1 of a new lobby, essentially. This is all different teams from what we've seen to the group stages. So certainly going away, speaking to your coach, speaking to your analysts, seeing the rotates from people, what they've done, where they like to go, and getting a feel for the lobby, looking for improvements now. FaZe, again, you mentioned about the early rotate fuzz pretty much going central of the map to get a pivotal position on this one in the circle. The most important thing for them is staying alive. So many times we see individual players just dropping.
Being picked up.
FaZe has always been known for that too. I'll hold that thought for a second.
Oh, Lux, great spray on that. I think there was some support, potentially one of the other Besiktas players, but really nice control over that distance towards Mikas, who will be put to bed by Simzy. So Besiktas are holding here and entering a little bit of a predicament. They're getting tagged up, pushed away, and they don't quite have maybe the step they believed they did, holding that little bit of higher ground almost.
We'll force this one back. There's going to be a road barricade, blockade set up on the road. I have to be very aware that, oh my word, it does so much damage hitting the tree and then goes up in a ball of flames. Anime Lord is down. We'll continue the pressure. Might as well stick to applying it because the rest of NLT need to turn and face away from this one. I don't believe they're going to set up and try and fight it. Quizzy does need to get his health back, but you can already see, out of the frying pan, into the fire. Axu's already on the back lines and he's holding the angle, Lauren.
Well, this is that southeastern road that we knew there was going to be rotations on. You know, the Ence coming this way, Besiktas are probably coming this way. This is a very common rotation. So you can already see the earlier teams who are in that area instantly setting up these sort of crossfires, these really tricky blocks to get past. And we can see Liquid actually committing very far south, and they're the kind of next step beyond Northern Lights. You have Northern Lights, Zoekt Een Naam, you have Besiktas and Ence kind of having a little bit more of a northern presence in this. And it looks like, speaking of Se7en, they're very close by to Digital Athletics. And I don't know if they know where these teams are. Crab's just kind of committed to this one with the vehicle. Mert and Sixmo are actually in this compound. Mert's not even in a building, so he's going to see this, make the calls. They've all pulled up on this. Sixmo is waiting very patiently. He's got 3 players in front of him. Really nice catch from Page there towards Quizzy. That's the smoke dealt with. And that should be a pickup on the kill too. That should go to Zoekt Een Naam here. I don't think that's going to be stolen anytime soon. But I want to see if anyone from that Digital Athletics side fancies a fight on this. This should be a pickup kill. And look at Sixmo holding his breath patiently. Once they breach this corner, it's game time. He waits patiently. First man to show, Frank. Frank checks the corner, he goes down. He can't convert on the second. It's going to be a trade out. Good work from Se7en to stay together. But this nade, that could be quite good. I don't know if it went far enough. I don't think it did. It got held off by the stables, but now positions noted. Mert has to be careful. He is alone. The rest of Digital Athletics are quite far away in the north. There's FaZe between them. So you can see where 80 is. The logo's behind that. That's Mert's teammates. So he is your one man here.
That's the most important thing. He really needed that grenade to hit for the simple fact this gives away his position. He could have held a point and maybe potentially let some players walk into his building, but nope, they'll now have the info that he is there lingering in the distance, and you've already seen strength in numbers. I like the approach as well. They had the initial early info that there could be a player lingering there, and all of a sudden they hit it as a total corner, which we see time and time again from players. They'll just hit it in single usage or double, and you can take these 1 versus 2s. It's hard, yes, but it's certainly doable. But being able to push a 3-man stack like that and deny even the flush, because when you're in that scenario, you will go for the flush, right? Okay, I'm dead. It's as simple as that. I might as well pick up a point before I do go out of the server. So they confirm it. They deny that. Avangar have been damaged up. I mean, just cop for Ence is coming out of the blue, right?
Yeah.
They're quite in the distance. You can't see it on this third person, but they're all the way on the eastern front. I'd see again, just to note,
Goodbye, vehicle.
Is playing a solo man's game. He's headed off away from the rest of FaZe. Circle will update. Let's see if it's a good idea to do so. Yes, it is.
Okay, who's got the upper hand here? Because this was originally Digital Athletics loot spot, Chumacera. Desperados seem to have a really good step into this. They can get Prime Cut, NIP, Na'Vi. The teams who went north have a pretty good shout in this. Team Liquid and a lot of the others banked on a... Wait, did Avangar just lose a player to the blue?
Which is either a bit of a cock-up on his end, or he doesn't have the meds. That's not good. You shouldn't be doing this at this level. Rather unfortunate. Yes, he does have meds, his bandages. This could be scrappy.
Ooh, that's very sloppy. That's going to hinder the progress from Avangar. I mean, at least it wasn't a hard shift to the west, but that was never really going to happen with that line to be there. But still, we are seeing the teams now kind of compressing into the circle because a lot of the teams who banked on it going north already have a good foothold into this. A lot of the teams coming from the northern side, the Jokers, for example, would be very pleased with this. Your Navis, as said. NIP have pulled up quite close to Unity, and a lot of teams are going past Unity to try to get towards potentially Miramar, and Ence are out to the east. So a lot of shots going to be coming down to the teams from the south, making that migration north. Uh-oh, Orange Snow might have overstepped here. He definitely did, being punished by NIP very swiftly.
Liquid have to be very careful. They may be avoiding Unity's bullets, but they're running right into the open arms of Ence, just in the distance. Unity smokes her up. They'll get the easy res on this one. Trafeli does find Jeems. There is a pull-up here, trying to find some open ground. It's not going to happen this time round. Ibiza will be forced back. They can't push any further and commit more men to this because there'll just be bodies in the floor at this stage in the game. It happened yesterday, and the only one that they lost, because they committed so much to a compound, they were punished for it by Digital Athletics. There's going to be people in the open. And Ibiza at the moment, he just needs to find a home. His vehicle will be making a fair amount of noise, so seeing this big car in the distance, it's going to be an easy point for some people. Rotates back to his team, that's fine. Let's have a look who else. Probably the most magnetized area will be Kumasira for the simple fact that it's at 2 different levels.
Yeah.
Unity do take the upper level. DA are in the back of it as well, so there'll be a little bit of a miniature fight maybe kicking off for prime territory on that one. But I suppose when you look further towards Kumasira, there is certain areas that you can't see inland. So will be a way to at least get out and emergency exit the city should this circle not be favorable to either end.
Checking in with the Jokers in the northwest. They are being pressured by Na'Vi. There's a couple of shots coming towards them. There is a bit of distance here, but clearly some of those shots had landed. I saw a knock there on towards the Jokers, so they're going to be trying to maybe reconvene together and just pull themselves into a better position. Maybe abscond from going towards Na'Vi uphill. Potentially maybe another route could be taken. Team Liquid still looking for their home, but look towards the south. It's Zoekt Een Naam going very close to Northern Lights. Who are going to hear these steps, and Paige is an animal, but this is a very scary little shack, and oh, Paige has no idea. Perfect, opens the door, looks around, and gets the job done. Northern Lights claiming one, there's a trade. Eifel's there, that's big. They instantly went on the first, they didn't wait, they didn't have patience for any more. They wanted those points, and they might have just suffered for their impatience.
They have to make a push on this one, in my opinion, and I think they will. Yes, they do. You've got to clear it out. Don't let them get away with that. Apply that pressure, keep going, and mop up and punish them for taking one of your players. So the trade-off, yes, you don't want to be losing a player, that's fair, but to get 2 points out of it and knock them out of the roster, I'm okay with it. 15 teams alive, 56 individual players. Circle about to update. Kumasira, where are you going to go off the back of this? Okay, so we head to the north, the most least condensed area as well. There's only one team up there, and that's going to be Na'Vi. How do they play this one then? Are they going to split up and take more of a foothold in the circle and basically dominate as they have done before? We've seen them time and time again. Once they have a circle, they'll split up so heavily and just deny anyone access to a certain percentage, at least 20-25% of a circle, and
Mert's here,
basically bodyguard it.
Team Liquid just ran past Mert, and I'm a bit worried about that. He can just be a little dagger in the back. I think he might just be on his own still. Oh, Fuzzface in the middle of the open. Mert finally shows his hand, and Team Liquid are too far away to maybe respond to this. Besiktas have found Zoekt Een Naam, or should I say, Zoekt Een Naam have found them. That's the next battle. They got past one team, and now they found another. This is Team Liquid pulling up, but Calvin Klein, this man I would not mess with, but he's been forced off by Samty, and Ibi is there to apply pressure from the other side. And that is exactly it, but the good positioning coming out from Kolementa means that it's not without answer. Samty now asked a question, can he find his answer to this? No, this is a big play coming out from them, but Gemty has arrived at the right time, executes Tozera, and that's going to be the Desperado suffering because the third party, Rustamar, has found a shot there. That's from the eastern side of town. So instantly they've gone from 4 to 2 with no chances of revives.
Desperado's put on red alert. They'll have to find some form of shelter. Next team is already on way with the rest of Tornado Energy. They're looking for a foothold in this one because they're outside up against the blue. So are Avangar, so are 3D Max. So the French and the CIS rosters all the way on the west, just a little bit down south, are going to have problems of their own. FaZe Clan have met 7. This will be pretty rough as well. Still, Simsy knocked. This should be the confirmation as well. We'll see if anyone gets the steal. No, they do not. Vaxu sees that through with the M24 job done. Eki up on top of the hill, still looking for any scraps of that battle if anyone wants to try and show the face in a 1 versus 1. They'll be happy from that. FaZe are in a very wild and wonderful split. They've got essentially in a 1-1-1 Uber in the circle. Mexi did split off from the rest of the pack to get them at least a shelter.
Alive.
They do, and it's nice to see how far they can go with 4 is a different question altogether because Uber now Might have to take a fight. Excuse me, no, it's still FaZe. He got knocked down earlier on. Hit the deck with about 5 to 10 HP. God knows how he stayed alive and did come back to full health. He's a man who can, especially when it's a 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3 scenario.
Backing from this. I'm wondering where Liquid are going here. I'm questioning this a little bit, if I'm honest, because there's not a great deal of cover, and they're on foot. This is scary times, and I don't know if FaZe, or should I say FaZe is going to really help them out here, because Seven's up on the hill. Can't really do it. 8C had to take a fight, and he does. Good play from 8C. He was your kind of solo man for FaZe that pushed them in towards these situations, playing very well. But now FaZe, on all fronts, are getting a great deal of eyes towards them. 8C has confirmed that's a point in the pocket. A beautiful death is there. Digital Athletics hold the corner. Beautiful death. Gift them out like it's all free. Look at this play on the wall, but can he find more? He's about to get a lot more presence towards his building. Idrik, oh, dangerous play and excellence coming out from Digital Athletics. That's 2 kills individually for him off the back of a pull-up. That is not easy to do.
It was fantastic to see, but also a questionable move at the end, just to show yourself behind the wall. It give him an easy line of sight and just knocks him down. Job done. They're eliminated in 15th place. I saw one of the members of FaZe actually go down. It was IT, of course. 7, they see him and confirm it. Krabic picks up the point. Uber just lingering in the distance on your screen right now, looking across the kill feed. Max has just decided to confirm his teammate as Verin and take him out. That's not very nice of him, but hey-ho, whatever works. Max is still sitting in that house up against the blue, probably because he knows that Digital Athletics are just in front of him. We've still got, for this circle, oh, actually, okay, yeah, this circle, there are so many teams that are still down south.
Yeah,
We've only got
FaZe,
literally
Besiktas,
3 teams. Navi, NIP have gone all the way to the top, the most northern compound. Navi set up in the middle, a 4-man stack. Liquid could have a bit of an advantage here, so they can take individual battles. It'll be a 3 versus 1.
They're pushing Senya.
I think if Navi aren't ready to receive it, they'll be in all kinds of trouble. They are very split.
Yeah, they're pulling themselves back together now. I think Senya getting that little bit of attention is going to make them responding. Kind of has done. It's given up a bit of room for Liquid to move in, but without the vehicles, they're still on foot, and I don't know what sort of cover they have, but we have NIP from the north. That's going to be a big, big crunch point. NIP have found a good angle towards Na'Vi, hence why Bestlock has gone down, but the Desperados just put their hands in the face of Ence and say, get out of our building. Truthfully, going to be the one to fall here. Squeaky's still alive outside. And this is on the very southern side of Chumacera, or should I say the northern side of Chumacera, the southern side of the circle. It's not safe out here. This is not in the new circle. And while all this happens, Se7en are setting up to gatekeep these 2 teams.
Initial grenade goes off, does a fair amount of damage, but it's a 2 versus 1, and they know exactly where he's going to be. He's looking at the vehicle to see if they want to try and get out of this. And he did touch it, Laura. Now Se7en is just waiting here.
That nade was so perfect from Golden
Mentor. Off the back of the... How do you know he's there? He's gone for the angle bounce, and it's done the job. So Ence, they're gone. As you said, Se7en can just wait there with open arms. They have to come out of that building. FaZe in the back, just so you are aware, are making a move. They're going for a very long drive, and 2 teams have an eye line on them. So keep an eye on that kill feed to see if they do go down. They've pulled up and they have survived somehow. Snoopy is confirmed by Moon. Buster now opening up onto Desperado. They did come out of that building. Uber fancies one as well. Takes out Mert. That's still the battle that's going on. DA for some reason stood their ground and held back, and it's cost them dearly. Tornado Energy has gone, so that was a poor rotate from them. They were up to, I think, 3 or 4 men alive going into that circle, so I don't know what's happened there. But there is a response from Cold Mentor. Desperado's fighting back. Third party. Eldevice has gone down. That's from Unity all the way across the board.
Yeah, I don't know how on earth this is being pulled off. DA have just gone down. They did have so many battles on so many fronts, though.
FaZe battered them.
FaZe did catch him out. They might have just lost FuzzFace in the meantime, though. I'm not sure if he's recoverable with the blue moving in, especially with the pressure coming in from across the board. It's not going to be an easy pickup if they go for it, and I don't think they are. If he can crawl forward, maybe. Beyond that, though, we have Team Liquid finding Besiktas Edelweiss on the receiving end of way too many shots there, and it's Team Liquid holding the southern side to attention. Zoekt Een Naam out in the southeast. And this is not going to be easy either. Unity on the move. Orange Snow trying to get out of this. I think we've seen a bit of a commitment to the blue here.
Heal.
I don't know if you're going to get away with that anymore. I think it's too little too late.
He was very overzealous there. He didn't watch his health. Fighting from the blue will punish him. That's a bit of a Monka-S moment. Needless to say, Circle does hard shift. We are going to the west. Na'Vi no longer central on this map. Liquid. We questioned them about being on foot, but I tell you what, it's paid off for them. Now they have the lay of the land, they have a hillside they can play off the back of, they've got some rocks, maybe to give them cover from FaZe, who will be encroaching on their position down from the south. Zoekt Een Naam do have to make an entry point into the circle somewhere on the east. But the teams that are looking to still get out of a tricky situation, Se7en have both FaZe and Liquid aiming down and raining down hell upon them. Unity are all going in the same vehicle. That could be extremely dangerous.
Yeah, Contenders might just try and take him down on the way, because I think he might be dead to the blue. He might just be able to stay ahead of this one potentially, but he is worse for wear, and Se7en are taking all the fire right now. That's from FaZe, from Liquid, from just about everyone. So far, Gemty got the knock, and he got the kill there. That's more surprising than anything, with FaZe eyeing that top 2. Buster's gone down, a big blow for Se7en going down in this position after their really good top 3 pushes. We're looking at FaZe, we're looking at Liquid in the south, Unity here towards the southeast, yet to be safe. You've got Zoekt Een Naam above them, Na'Vi in the northeast, and NIP have shifted across the west to find their step into the circle, but you still have the Jokers in a very, very powerful position here.
Is this deja vu? Is this almost the third circle we've had like this in 2 days? Contenders is spotted, Sadovnik puts him in the grave. 9th position will be their final standings in game number 1. Beether and the rest of the boys on Liquid have been copped though by Jokers. However, Jokers paid the price. Having a crack at him yesterday on the bridge. 3-minute live stims, and there you go, just like that. Wakey, wakey, Yamosh. You have a shot at Ibby and he will answer back. The SKS dinks him in the head and he's down.
Oh no.
Yanksy, unfortunately, will clip one of his teammates more than likely just when they get out.
Yeah, but the issue is now they're completely in the open.
Oh my, he just snaps
Gemty's
to him.
caught such a glimpse of this. Ibby's confirming the kills. Oh, this is really, really bad. VOD did find one back, so it might slow down the roll from Team Liquid, but that was a really bad mistake to happen at that moment. Not what you're looking for.
You're just feeding them at this point.
Yeah, and it's, well, we're going to look at the remainder of FaZe. Uber, I don't think is recoverable. No, confirmed by Unity. Put to bed. As Liquid still have 3 up here, we've got Na'Vi with 3, Unity with 3, I think Jokers, all cards in the deck, and NIP holding on to what they have. I think they're down to 3 now with potentially one of them bleeding out here. I don't know if Gaxi can be picked up, so that will be 2. And that is the Jokers and Liquid. Very pleased with this circle. Liquid will probably shuffle across, but everyone else has to move in.
I really like what the Tab's doing. It could be a little bit dangerous if he's in a very open position and many people have an eye line on them. However, going forward like this and not getting pinned up into that compound is fantastic work, because otherwise Liquid are going to centralize and basically just await them and let the blue do the damage, force them into the aggressive stance. So taking up middle ground like that's a fantastic play. It's an aggressive play, makes it another single man standing for FaZe. Who would have thought it? Unity could be dangerous. They probably have to tackle Liquid head on, because I don't think they'll be able to make it to those compounds with no vehicles in such an open ground. Zoekt Een Naam, this is the battle that we need to keep an eye line on, just for the simple fact that they're the ones that have to do all the work.
Doozy's angle is keeping them locked in here.
The more questionable factor, the more dangerous factor here, Lauren, is the fact that Unity sees all this, so once Navi's done with it, they can just arrive and await them with open arms.
Yeah, you can see Zoekt Een Naam look for another option, because Na'Vi are pretty much that CIS wall that you can't get past. It's Senya to confirm what was started. Really nice play from Na'Vi. I still love Senya's positioning then. He was out on his own, but now the knock-on effect is NIP, Team Liquid, Unity can all set up on them, and they have a literal uphill run now to get in towards that new circle. They're going to have to pick whichever poison they fancy. Is it Unity? Is it Liquid? Liquid have other issues. One of the Tab, 2 potentially works. I don't know if he's going to get involved in this, and NIP. Nades go down, and Na'Vi are being held back here. Doozy's already on the move. He's going to find his own path, potentially. I think there's some ridges and divots almost in this. Oh, Pokemon, that's a big spray coming through from Recrent. I do think there's a third-party potential from the Jokers. Yes, they have vision over this. So if Unity over-peak, if they crest those hills, there's trouble ahead, but Liquid are on the move.
Yeah, Liquid want to get involved in this one. You have to be careful of the Jokers just because they have that plateau they can work off the back of. The Doozy's clearly heard what's going on up here. Notices the steps. Liquid need to be careful, though, that they pick the correct fight. If they do want to take one of these as a challenge, then the second party will get involved, so they have to be very careful.
Well, we do have old Na'Vi against new Na'Vi. That's a fun part of the Eastern fight so far. And Liquid are your last line. They wait. They don't need to over-push here. They probably want to. They probably want to be aggressive on this just to clear it out and give themselves that freedom down the line. But it's a very dangerous play with so much potential. The Jokers are still firing away here. Muxy is a long way up from this. NIP are under fire with limited amounts of cover to work forward from. Hence why Moon, or hence, as to why Moon can watch them in this.
And again, this is from that plateau. Because they've
It's
taken that
such a
compound, they can just
strong
look
spot.
all the way across. Maybe we see Na'Vi kind of reading this information to their advantage.
It's
Circles,
centralized.
yeah, it's not too bad for any team here. And the fact that the tab had actually gone off about 400 meters from the rest of the Jokers, they've got a full four-man team they can put into this and have all the bodies in the world. Mexi still, the Lone Ranger all the way down south, will be inside the last remaining compound. So could shut anything down if someone wants to make an advancement to bunker themselves in. NIP.
Oh, they're moving on this.
Ooh, what's
Unity
an
are
answer?
moving in. Here we go. The trades are there. That's good from Sadovnik to catch out a doozy like that, but it's not without an answer. You're seeing the trades coming back in, but the
Steal.
third party came out from Gemty. It forced the hand, and Unity
Making a push on
have
this,
lost
Lauren.
out, but now there has to be another push. There has to be that follow-up. The Jokers are on the move. We're seeing Ibi go down from very far away. This could force NIP into the fight now. Avangar still have a player up north. You're going to see Na'Vi probably working their way up as well. This nade could be the death of Team Liquid. NIP getting fire from across, though. That's going to potentially hold back Na'Vi. That's going to slow their roll, but
comes
no!
Senya.
Vard goes down. Next nade's going to come in. Senya's peeking it. Senya gets slapped back by Gemty. Maxi's gone down to the blue. Gemty finds Senya, confirms what was started. The spray is good, but it's not good enough. That's Pokemon staying alive somehow, and the extension from Ibi gets the job done.
Such a bait, just a bait and switch straight out. Samty over peaks, falls back. Gemty goes and gets his health up. Okay, it's not without damage, he is down, but they can keep getting these reses. You mentioned about NIP. Now
wanna
they've smelt the
execute.
blood. That nade does
By
give
far.
the information that they're coming. It bounces up. That could be dangerously devastating. They both run. It wasn't cooked enough.
Samty's isolated, Rich. This is scary. He's a little on his own. They can't really help him right now. Then he needs to go for the heels and probably try and run that southern side, but he's in between a rock and a hard place. These nades are keeping them humble. The Jokers aren't particularly helping them out. If they swing northeast, they could take down NIP, and oh, it's NIP finding Samty as he tried to move forward. Vard waits and lingers below in the depths. Ibi spraying across towards that hillside, but NIP have gone
2 for
down.
1.
It's the Jokers holding everything in this circle. They've completely pushed east, and Team Liquid have their backs to the blue and very limited amounts to work from here.
The problem is on the opposing side, you've still got Yamosh holding the angle. Now Mexi just wants to tickle a few of them. Deez does get involved with the grenade. Ibi is found. And I would expect an aggressive stance here from the Jokers just to push up, wipe out Liquid, and get the job done. If they keep 4 players alive after this one, Mexi has absolutely no sodding chance in hell. I don't know if Moon knows where they are. They're up there. We need to have a look at his POV. Yes, okay. Gemty in a hut like this. I think that's a big GG for the Jokers.
Yeah, they played it very well. They were lucky in a way when the circle shifted to their areas, but that's one way to get them out. 2 teams stand. 1 team stand, should I say, and then 1 solo player. Muxy, what can you do here? Put on a show, put on a display. Let's see what you've got left in the tank. Couple of nades, 1 smoke. He's got another there. He can make something out of this. It won't be much, but maybe he can punish, potentially get a couple of points. Always good. But we know that FaZe can always pull players into late games. It's whether or not they can actually keep more than 1 player here. But credit to the Jokers for that aggressive play towards the east. They certainly noted where the big threats were coming from and instantly swept them aside.
He's counting how many, or at least where the locations of these players are. And I think you make a decision. Do you go and try and go for the knock and a flush, or do you just wait here and let the blue do the damage? It will come up against his back, and then for the next one, he can just essentially just give it up. This is why the Jokers are working their way down, because they know that this is a free point. Mexi's got a smile on his face, so he either just baits them in and then dies to the blue. It's like, huh.
Go on, make your stand.
You thought. You thought.
Go on. Go on, Muxy. Give us something. Give me 1 kill. Give me
Sneak
1
one.
kill here. This is potential. That's in the open. Bit of a cross. Good crossfire from Deez. That's a
my.
knock. Good. Go by one by one, and you might die 1 by 1. I'm not going to get hyped up about this yet, but that's a hard revive if they want to really pull off the pressure, because Yarosh could, in theory, fall off this one. Went out the door, didn't check it. It's the Jokers. To find the first win here in the finals of day 2, match 5 is there.